What's up guys, it's Ed from TechSource and welcome to another detailed camera comparison test. This time we have the iPhone 7 versus the iPhone 6s, but before diving into samples, let's briefly go over the specs. The iPhone 7 has a 12 megapixel rear camera with an aperture of 1.8 that can shoot up to 4K resolution. The iPhone 6s has a 12 megapixel camera as well, but with a smaller aperture of 2.2, also capable of recording 4K video. The front-facing camera on the iPhone 7 comes in at 7 megapixels and can capture up to 1080p video, and the iPhone 6s has a 5 megapixel front-facing camera and can record video up to 720p. By the way, these skins are from D brands and they offer a variety of materials for different types of devices, so if you guys are interested in checking them out, I'll drop a link to them down below. So without wasting any more time, let's sit back, relax, and take a look at some samples. Starting with video recording, let's take a look at the rear camera in daylight. Autofocus between both phones seem to be about the same speed. It's not painfully slow, but it's nothing to write home about. The field of view is unchanged, but the color of each video shows some slight differences. The iPhone 7 camera takes on an ever so slightly cooler tone than what is found on the 6s. Video from the iPhone 7 is also slightly less saturated, especially in areas with vibrant colors like green and pink. In low light, certain details are more visible on the iPhone 7 footage, and this is due to the wider aperture of 1.8 compared to 2.2 on the iPhone 6s. Video is brighter overall and less grainy as well. Both phones manage to keep focus locked and don't hunt around that often. Video stabilization gets a much needed upgrade on the smaller iPhone 7. With optical image stabilization, handheld video is vastly smoother and rarely shows any shake. What's up guys, so I am now holding the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 6s, and I am shooting with the front facing camera, and the resolution is set to its highest on both phones. There will be an audio icon somewhere on the screen and it will indicate which phone's audio is currently being used. The front camera finally shoots in 1080p and it shows when compared side by side. Everything is sharper, mostly noticeable on small details in the face and on articles of clothing. The field of view remains the same, as does the onboard microphone. Moving on to photos, both phones exhibit a very similar level of sharpness and field of view. The colors coming out of the iPhone 7 camera have a more muted look to them and don't have as much pop as they do on the iPhone 6s. Dynamic range, on the other hand, sees a noticeable improvement on the iPhone 7, preserving details in the highlights better. Just like with video recording, the front-facing camera on the iPhone 7 is substantially better. The dynamic range and overall contrast of the image shows improvement over the 6s. The front-facing camera on the iPhone 7 is definitely sharper as well, thanks to that higher resolution sensor at 7 megapixels. One of the biggest improvements the iPhone sees this year is the low-light photos, due in part to that wider 1.8 aperture. Images from the iPhone 7 are all around better than those shot on the 6s, showing more detail and a substantial less amount of noise than before. Photos are brighter too, making them much more pleasant to look at. Combined with optical image stabilization, the images are noticeably sharper and keep the motion blur minimized as well. The upgraded flash also keeps the color saturation levels in check, definitely looking less washed out compared to the pictures on the 6S. So there you have it guys, both phones have their strengths and weaknesses. The iPhone 7 is definitely an improvement over its predecessor, but not big enough to warrant upgrading if you already own an iPhone 6S. The biggest changes come in the form of low light capabilities and the front-facing camera. Aside from those, the two phones are pretty close in performance, but what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts by dropping a comment down below. If you guys enjoyed these videos and want to see a specific camera comparison, be sure to leave a like and let me know which two phones you want to see head to head in